It's always good to, go do dancing. Another thing as well, of course, in Moscow is to get some live music, go to a concert like B2 or
These happen all the time, yeah, it's really good for that.
Do you go to any concerts, Neil? Not big concerts, but like, club
No,
concerts,
last one I went to was Engelbert Humperdinck, but when I go big.
Aww. You love Engelbert.
Only the best.
Interesting. Well, actually, the reason I mentioned that is because AC/DC, who I haven't really been a fan of throughout my, musical loving history.
Big name, though.
Yeah, of course. They're in Moscow this week. They're to launch. They're here. Chris Slade, who's the drummer, he's in Moscow to launch the AC/DC official fan club. Finally, apparently there are lots of AC/DC lovers in Russia.
Yes, they're still around.
Goths and all that. And I interviewed him yesterday. He had lots of interesting things to say. He's here with a tribute band called Easy Dizzy. And let's see what he has to say. Chris, thank you very much for your time. A Scouser to a Welshman.
Yeah, that's strange. In Moscow.
In Moscow. Tell me about the band Easy Dizzy.
I first worked with them maybe 3 years ago. With a friend of mine, Kelly, American guy who I've worked with over the years also. And they said, oh, there's this really good band that does AC/DC really well.
It's a tribute band.
They are a tribute band, AC/DC tribute band, but they're absolutely note perfect. So much so that we did a gig last year in Saratov, and some people complained because they said we were playing to tapes. And so, they're good. They're very, very good. They're in the background right now.
And your history with performing in Russia goes way back to 1991. You were here with AC/DC.
That's right, yeah. Came here with AC/DC and the Monsters of Rock tour. And we played at Tushino, I think, if I'm saying it correctly, airfield. And we played to 1 million people, apparently. So, I mean, and it was huge. It was just a sea of people to the horizon.
An interesting time to be here. And how has Russia changed over the past 20 years?
You don't see lines at shops anymore, whereas you could be in a line to buy something in a store, like a butcher's or something, for 30, 40 minutes before you even got inside. And then there might not be anything to buy once you got inside. And so that was happening in 91 when I was here.
How have the Russian audiences changed, or are they still the same?
No, it's almost as if it's, although that was 20 years ago or something, the Russian passion for music is still there, always has been there. And that's the great thing. They enjoy it so much. And I was surprised by that. I expected, when I've never been here before back then, I expected a colder response. Everybody did. But the Russians feel about music the same way that South Americans feel about music, exactly the same, and Welsh people.
And Scousers. Tell me, the AC/DC fan club, you're also here in Russia to launch that. Tell me about that.
It's the first thing. Well, a friend of mine, actually, Alexei, is starting that. He's very passionate about his rock music, and he's even more passionate about AC/DC. And he's become a friend. Known him for a couple of years now, I think. Been to his house, had dinner and stuff like that with his wife, Kate. And he's always wanted to do this. And apparently there isn't an official AC/DC fan club in Russia, which there is right now as of tonight. So I'm very proud to be here actually for that, the inaugural, inaugural concert or whatever it is.
Good stuff. Now, what is the future for you? What's next?
I've got quite a few things going. There's this one, which is the band I've just been touring with, and we're going to come back in October and do it again, even more cities this time. I'm going to tour with these guys also. I'm thinking of Russia specifically now. I'm also going to do a thing called Rockstar Jam. There's rockstarjam.com actually. There's only 2 pages up at the moment, which is people come and play with friends of mine who I've known over the last, well, forever. And they jam with those people. They form a band around one celebrity, say, and do that with maybe 5, 10 celebrities. And that's a project I'm just starting. I'm going to start it in Brazil, actually, in May. And it'll be in Moscow sometime this year.
Well, Chris, thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the gig and good luck with all your future projects.
Thank you very much indeed.